What's up, creepers? Welcome to Phin and Bryn Spoops.
I'm Bryn.
And I'm Phin.
And today we are breaking down the Blumhouse picture.
Wait, it was Sinister.
Oh my god.
I forgot what movie we watched.
This is going to be an award-winning director, folks.
I'm tired, okay? I'm like so tired right now.
Okay,
I don't
Sinister.
even remember watching it that.
You got scared. You thought it was pretty scary.
Oh, I remember it now.
Okay. So this was a 2012 movie with Ethan Hawke in it, and it got 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. I thought I had watched this movie. Apparently I had not. So this is Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill writing and Scott Derrickson directing, and they are the team that brought us... Don't remember?
No.
No? Doctor Strange.
Oh. Okay.
They were actually picked because Disney wanted a horror movie director for Doctor Strange, and then they didn't make it a horror. So,
It was supposed to be horror?
yeah. They specifically went and looked for a horror movie director. They settled on Scott Derrickson, and what we got was not a horror. So,
Disappointing.
so disappointing. So disappointing. So, but, you know, we do love
tired.
Doctor Strange over here. We do love some Doctor Strange. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Tired.
All right. So, Sinister, it's about a writer. And I don't know, not everybody that watches my video knows that I'm a writer. So, this was a writer with kids, and he was kind of a selfish prick. So,
Two
it kind of
kids.
freaked me out.
2 kids.
Because I don't think I'm like that, but you know, whatever.
Maybe you are, or maybe you aren't.
But watching a horror movie about a writer does bring up some Stephen King vibes. But that's kind of where they end. This movie was pretty scary. It was pretty scary. Yeah, yeah, it was scary. It starts off with this new family. This writer, he's moving into this house where he's a true crime writer. So he's going to be writing a book about a little girl who her family was killed in this town, and she was abducted or she disappeared. They don't know exactly what happened. Yes, sir.
Skulls.
Oh, how many skulls do you want to get
How
rated?
many do you have it?
You're just going to copy me, so you only have to do one thing of skull.
4.5.
I give it 4.
No, you're just being mean. You said 4.5 while we're watching it, you jerk. She's just mean.
I give it 4 skulls.
She's just mean to me.
I can't give it more than I gave Halloween 2. It's just
Wrong?
wrong. It's just wrong.
No, she's just mean.
And the cops in town, how do they react to?
They don't want it. Well, it's only the sheriff. The sheriff doesn't want him there.
Ellison? He just did not want him there because in his books, apparently, he makes cops look like they're idiots. And he also mentions that them moving into the house that they're moving into is in extremely poor taste. His wife's like, "What's he talking about?" He's like, "Nothing." And she's like, "Did we just move 2 houses down from a crime scene again?" And he's all, "Nope, we did not move 2 houses down from a crime scene." Because why, Phin?
Moved into the crime scene.
They moved into the crime scene. So, Ellison goes up to the attic while they're, you know, unpacking and moving in and stuff like that. And what's he find, Phin?
Finds a box.
Tell them, not me.
He finds a box.
I can't hear you, so they can't hear you.
Yeah, because this is so loud.
What kind of box?
Yeah, last time I whispered like
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
There is a projector. Films.
What kind of films? Family films. There's family films in this.
Pool
Cool.
party. And
Yeah, pool party.
Yeah.
Sleepover. Kind of cool. I want to watch those. Don't you want to watch those? Phin?
Totally.
I do. Yeah.
Totally.
So, you know, Ellison gets into his office, and this is a man who hates lights, by the way. We need to mention that straight up.
There's never any lights on.
He never turns on a light. He is a true husband. Every time my husband walks in, he's turning off lights. It's just like my dad. You're going to do that one day. You're going to turn 30, and then every time you walk into a room, you're going to turn off the lights to save electricity. It's in your genes. You're a dude. So yeah, he doesn't turn on the lights ever. So anyways, he sets up the projector and the movies, and
There's no
they're what kind of films?
snuff films.
They are snuff films. They are, well, the first film that he puts in is of the family that lived there before. Somebody had tied them to a tree branch and tied the other end to another tree branch and then cut the heavier tree branch down and raised them up. But it was only it was only a family of 4 that happened to, but they were a family of 5 because the little girl disappeared. They don't know what happened to her. So he is here to write this story, and you know what? It's kind of weird because, when we're in their dining room, we can see that tree right there in their yard.
And I realized something. The branch that got cut down never moved. It's not like knocked over or taken away. It's just the same exact position.
So he immediately goes to call the police, and then
It's like, they're gonna take away the films.
you know what? I want the credit for this. So he hangs up. He does not call the cops.
Big brain top.
So he hears a noise and he thinks it's his daughter, but she's still asleep. And he goes looking for the noise, and there's a box. Like when you're moving, there's boxes all over the place, but the box keeps moving, like jerking. It's kind of freaky. What comes out of the box, Phin?
His son, Trevor.
Tell them. Trevor comes out of the box walking like the Exorcist coming down the stairs, the backflip walk, and he starts screaming. He starts screaming, and it is
Great.
It's really scary. Apparently, Trevor gets night terrors. You know what? It would be good if you guys had told me that he gets night terrors because that was some scary shit. So, anyways, Trevor acts up in school. He draws pictures he takes a permanent marker on the whiteboard, and he draws a family hanging from the tree. So he gets sent home from school, and Ellison's wife, Tracy, is like, you know what? I don't want my kids seeing the crap that you're writing about. You need to, get your shit together. And he's like, I didn't show him. Right? Right. Ellison's drinking a lot because apparently that's what writers do. Am I an alcoholic, Phin?
Yeah.
See? There you have it from the expert.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm not an alcoholic. So anyways, the snuff films are sort of getting to him because he's watching a lot of them. And there's one with a family getting burned in their car. They're like tied up, or they've got tape over their mouths. They're taped. They're
Inside
taped
the
up,
car.
not tied up. They're taped up, and they're inside the car. And then the car gets lit on fire.
There's
so that's a
gas in
family.
it.
And then there's a family that's is in bed asleep, and somebody comes upstairs, and they're tied up again, taped up again, same way, and they get their throats slit, and he has to turn away because it's pretty spook.
He turns away for the kid.
For the kids, yeah, it's for the kid. One kid, yeah, I understand. And then there's also the pool party where you can see that somebody's watching this family have a nice little pool party during the day, and then at night they are taped up to the pool loungers, and somebody's got ropes tied to it, and they're pulled into the pool and drowned. So these are not really fun films.
That scene, I'm like, that must have been hard to shoot, and I was right.
Yeah, it was. It was a hard scene to shoot because pulling people into pools while they're taped to loungers takes a lot of safety precautions. So they did it. They were okay though. It's not one of those cursed films. So the lights go out, and he goes up to the attic. I don't know why. Oh, he hears somebody up in the attic because he's going to go and figure out what's going on with the lights. And yeah, he hears thump, 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 thump up in the attic. So he goes up to the attic.
And there's
go ahead, Phin. I didn't watch
top
this
to
part
a
because
box.
I knew. Tell them that I knew.
There was a snack.
Why did I know?
You just
Tell
did.
them.
Because you're afraid of snakes, and you just are like hyper
Am I just
aware.
afraid of snakes? Am I just afraid of snakes?
Yeah, totally.
I have extraordinary ophidiophobia, and I have like this sixth sense in all the movies. Like I'm like, you know what?
Snake.
My snake sense is tingling, so I'm not going to watch this scene. So there's like a box lid on the ground, and it was moving, and it was too flat to be pretty much anything else. We forgot to mention when he did find the box originally, there was a scorpion up in the attic. So now there's a snake up in the attic, and I'm like, you know what? F this attic. I'm not going to go up in this attic anymore because there's creepy crawly things that want to kill you.
You know what would be the worst? Scorpion infestation.
Yeah. What's on the bottom of what's on the lid of the box?
There's drawings of the different.
You know what? I think that was the blue
films.
box lid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the lid that goes to the box with the movies and the projector and stuff. What's on the inside? Tell them, explain.
There's like childish drawings of the different films.
And then it points to Mr. Boogie. Like it shows like all the things and then Mr. Boogie. He saw something in one of the films.
It looked like some of them got buried.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Mr. Big. Oh, no, that was the pool. The one that looked like it was buried. It showed them in the pool. That was underwater, not underground. He did see a face in the water when he was watching the pool movies. And he tried to pause on it, but he's stupid and he did it on a projector. And as someone who used to work at a movie theater, he just left the bulb on, like he paused it for too long. And of course it burned through the film because, of course it did. So he couldn't show really anybody that picture, but he did find some symbols, and he did find a couple of other times when you see Mr. Boogie's face, like in reflections and stuff like that. And Mr. Boogie looks like he is in a Finnish black metal band. I don't know how else to explain it. He's got white makeup and black eyes, and
Yeah.
he looks like a metal kind of guy, long hair. Very scary though, kind of. Yeah, very scary. And Trevor is he goes outside. Why does he go outside? Okay, so he is examining the videotape of the family that lived there before them, the one that got hung, and this is why Trevor actually was outside, why he found Trevor. He notices in the bushes, the spooky face guy in the bushes.
Spooky spook.
And
Mr.
Boogie in the bushes. And so he goes and he looks outside at the actual bush because it's in his backyard because he lives in the house. And he sees something in the bush. So he goes out there to murder it because he grabs his bat. And it's his son Trevor. Trevor has been night terrors again. So and then there's a big serious black dog.
I said that.
Yes, you did, you big nerd.
It was though.
Yes, there was a big serious black type dog, and what was behind while he was facing down the dog?
He's like trying to get us back because he dropped.
What was
back. He went
behind
back out
in the mist?
There's the 5 kids.
There was the kids that were missing from each of the crime scenes, standing like in the mist. And you can't really see them; it's just their silhouette. And it's very scary.
Yeah, you could see them.
Sort of, not very well.
You could see them.
You couldn't tell.
I could. I could see their face. I could see every pore. It's a face.
I don't know why you want to be a director. You'd be a better lawyer. You argue crap out of everything. All right. So anyways, oh, my notes.
I need those.
Yeah. So the cop shows, yeah, let's see. So he gets a phone call from Detective so-and-so, or does he come over?
We haven't talked about it.
We haven't talked about Detective so-and-so. Well, he asked Detective so-and-so because Detective so-and-so comes over when, I can't remember, something spooked him and he called the cops and it was the attic. It was the snake up in the attic.
And then he calls the police.
He fell through the attic, yeah. So he
cops
called,
were there.
Yeah, the cops got there, and the deputy, who is under the sheriff and a big fan of Ellison's, he says, you know, when you're writing your book and you have that section where you thank people, and Ellison's like, you mean the acknowledgments page? And he's like, yeah, you always mention like, deputy so-and-so helped me. He's like, what if I was your deputy so-and-so? He totally wants to help, and it's adorable. Plus it's Eddie Kasprak from It, and we love him, so. But still, my big gay heart, I love Eddie Kasprak. So anyways, he wants, so he goes, yeah, can you find out about these murders? And he tells about the murder of the family that dies in the fire and about the family in the pool. He wants some information about these movies that he's been watching, but he doesn't tell him why. So he says, it's just for research, don't worry about it, it's not connected to this case at all. So Detective so-and-so comes by and it's like, can I come in? And he's like, sure. And he's like, I need to be looped in because I actually have a degree in criminology and I can tell that these are all related. And he's like, fine, they're related. So
Totally related.
he says, he explains everything that's been going on, the symbols on the walls and stuff like that, and he's like, I know a guy, and we're just gonna call him Professor Expert because I forgot to write down his name, and so he calls
literally just
Professor Expert.
Professor Expert.
He calls Professor Expert, who is, oh my gosh, what's his name? As I like him so much. It's coming to me. Stop, what are you trying to get to?
Your phone.
Why? You don't need my phone.
We need his name. Yes.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Ha! Woo!
Yes.
It's Vincent D'Onofrio who...
The actor's name? Is
Yes.
that? Then what's his name?
Who cares about the professor's name? It's right here. I actually wrote it down. Jeez. You think that I'm like a total newbie at this.
Well, yeah, we started like 15 days ago. We've only been doing this for like 2 weeks.
His name is Professor Jonas or Professor... Yes, Professor Jonas. Again. So it's Vincent D'Onofrio, who actually plays my favorite Kingpin from the Daredevil series, and I mean amongst millions of other projects that Vincent D'Onofrio has worked on. But he literally phones in this role. The only time you ever see him is on like a Zoom call.
And it looks like it's on a Mac. I could tell it's on a Mac because it had the circles instead
He
of
literally didn't even have to come on the set. He's just at home, and calling Scott Derrickson is what happened. You know what? You do you, Vincent. So
He's at home just...
he shows the symbols, and it's funny because Professor Expert, Professor Jonas, he looks at them and he's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And he's like, what do you mean you know what that is? And he's like, yeah, I've seen that. And he's like,
It's just like some like...
what? It's like
It's obscure from like Babylonian times.
Yeah, he's like, that's the symbol of Bagul. Mr. Boogie, Bagul. Mr. Bagul. Mr. Boogie, the deity Bagul, is an ancient deity that eats
Children.
children.
Eats children's souls, specifically.
Yeah, he does. He eats children's
He
souls.
lures their souls out of their body or whatever.
So,
Shibbity-happy.
Ellison has had enough of this crap, and he locks up the movies and the projector and goes to bed. And he wakes up
at like 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning, and what's going on? They're playing again in his room.
In the middle of the night after he locked up and everything.
So he starts
Spooky.
walking around the house because he's like, who the heck did this? Is it the kids? He's trying to find out who did it.
And then
The
there's
kids
the
are in their
attic's
bed.
open.
Yeah, and the attic is open, and there's dead kids that he can't see, like sneaking around him like this is some epic game of hide and seek behind him, and it's really,
As
really
he's walking around.
unnerving.
But then he sees and he goes up there, the kids are up there, that there's...
he checks in on Ashley, his daughter, and she's like staring at one of the dead girls because she's drawn the family that got hung on the wall. So Ashley has seen the ghosts, but she doesn't say anything. She's just kind of laying in bed trying not to make any noise because she's scared to death. So once and then that next morning, Ashley draws a picture of the girl, Stephanie, the one that he's been looking for, a huge mural of her hanging from the branch, but not like hanging like
On a tire
swing hanging. And that's when Ellison's wife loses her mind. She is so angry.
Done.
She's so done. They have this huge blowout that he's selfish and only wants his fame and fortune, and she's done with it, and she's mad. What are you looking for?
Nothing, I just want to put my finger in there.
So
Just good.
So later on that night, he hears it again, the film running, and he goes upstairs and he sees the dead kids and Bagul watching the movies.
No, so the movie is of Bagul, and then he jumps out at him.
Yeah, the movie screen has Bagul on it, and you can see it's a movie, but then he like comes out of the movie
And then jumps at him, it's spooky, and he falls down, and then he goes and burns the...
He burns the movies, and they get the F
They move out.
They move
literally, that night, like they literally just get a bunch of things that they need, and then they go back to their other house.
He is hightailing it. The cop pulls him over, and the cop had told him, you need to leave. And he's like, you know what? I'm taking your advice, and we're leaving. The cop tears up his speed ticket, and he's like, good night, sir. So they're at the new house, and again, it's at night because everybody's gone to bed, and he's been unpacking stuff, and it's so dark again.
And Deputy so-and-so keeps calling him.
Yes, Deputy so-and-so keeps trying to call him, and he keeps hitting reject on his phone, and I'm like, you're a jerk. Because
You're a jerk. You wouldn't answer it.
I would if it was Deputy so-and-so. He's a good guy. He's actually the star of the next Sinister movie.
You know what? You wouldn't answer it, you text them.
Yes, I would. I would text him. This child knows me very well. So
You decline the call
like,
and
"What's
text
up?"
them. I've done that before, and I'm like, what do you want?
So Professor Jonas sends him some. Professor Jonas sends him some stuff. So Professor Jonas calls him, and he's got all these old scans that he's found about the cult of Bagul. And there's what kind of animals? Tell them.
Scorpion. Snake. Doggo.
That was gross, dude.
Sorry, we just had some ice cream.
And he tells them that shush. So he tells him that kids are particularly vulnerable to.
Oh yeah, he also says it's in the pictures and.
Yeah.
Shoot.
What?
You missed one thing where he's
Realize-
in the picture and the Mr. Boogie looks at him.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. That's a good. In case they don't actually see it, we want something to scare them, you know. Like in case they haven't seen it and they're watching it like jerks. So anyway. So he tells them that kids are particularly vulnerable to getting possessed by Bagul. And each one of these crime scenes, like we've said, one child is missing from them. And so Deputy so-and-so calls him finally, and he picks up and he's like, what? And he was like, I need to tell you something. He was like, the people that lived in the house before you guys, they lived in the same house as the family before that died before.
It followed them.
It follows
That's
them.
all you have to say.
Yeah, if you move into the house and then move to another house, it'll kill you at that house. And then the next people that move into that house, if they move again, it'll kill them in that house. It's like bizarre. It's like a chain letter that never stops.
Doesn't he go to drink his coffee and then there's the green stuff?
There's
in
the
his cup?
note. Yeah.
And it says, good night, Daddy.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a note too before when he picked up the coffee. I noticed that there was a note.
Yeah, I thought that was just
Right.
something just under him.
And as he's saying that, the kid, he was like, you moved again and you just sped up his timeline. He's going to kill you in that house. So he's drinking his coffee, and when he looks down, there's a note from Ashley on the
green stuff?
blotter.
I saw the green stuff at the pool. Remember in the drinks where there was the...
Yeah. The blotter had on his blotter. There's a note that says "Good night, Daddy," and he realizes that she's drugged him, and he passes out on the floor. And then when he wakes up, him and his wife and Trevor are duct taped, and Ashley comes in dragging what? An axe. Tell them, not me. An axe. She comes walking in dragging an axe. Ashley is about 9.
Well, we don't get to see her do it.
No, but we know that she can.
An S?
Yes, so dark.
It looks like an 8.
Sorry. So
8-0 dark.
You know what? I totally forgot.
What did we miss?
He found the blue box that he burned
Shoot.
in the new house.
Shoot.
And there's extra footage in it. So he watches the extra footage, and it turns out each one of those houses,
The
kid
kid's been doing
that
it.
disappeared
Was the one
that murdered the whole family. And then Deputy so-and-so calls him and tells him about how it's chained together, and that's when he realizes that Ashley has done this to him, and then Ashley comes in with the axe. All of the kids, whenever they finish, they look right at the camera and they do what, Phin? Yeah. It's scarier when you do it because you're a kid.
I just realized.
What? Tell them, not me.
The kids, when they're following him in the scene before he sneezes, they're always going, shh.
Yeah. You're sitting too close because you're getting blurry.
Meanie.
So anyways, she comes in dragging an axe and she says, "Don't worry, Daddy. I'll make you famous again." And then the movie shows her bloody axe and there's blood. She was a big drawer on her walls, and now there's drawings all over her walls. And
Like the dog.
it says house painting on their video. And
Yeah, because there's a new video for
There
the
is.
people who move in.
yeah, there's a new video for them. It was very scary. She killed them. She draws the picture of their deaths on the inside of the cover of the box, and it shows them in 3 pieces each. their torsos in half and their heads off.
Chop.
So she did
Chop.
a good job, Ashley. Good job. Anyways, we might watch Sinister 2 because I like Deputy So-and-so, and if you don't want to watch it with me, fine, I'll watch it by myself. But
I'll watch it with you.
okay. But tonight we're actually going to be watching The Host by Bong Joon-ho, who won the Oscar for Parasite. I missed out on The Host, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I know it's an amazing movie, and we're very excited, and it's going to be our first foreign language film. Yes.
Hey, wait, let's do that again. Psych.
So
I'm not hilarious.
let's talk about
Bly
Manor.
Oh my God, it's so good now.
Okay.
Major cliffhanger.
So let's talk about Bly Manor. I actually didn't write any notes.
Any?
I didn't.
How does it begin? How does it start again?
So Bly Manor episode 7.
Is this part 2 of?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the part 2 of Thingamaboppity.
Tale of Two Faces part 2 or whatever.
And the episode before this ended with, oh yeah, the children. So it starts with her in the attic.
Danny's tied up in the attic by the kids, by
With duct
Miles
tape,
and
too.
Flora.
It's duct tape too.
And that's not duct tape. She's got a tie in her mouth.
Oh yeah. Why? I'm dead inside.
Trash child. So anyways, Danny's like freaking out.
And we're overheating.
We're overheating, so we'll be right back.
Okay, so in this episode, it starts with Danny in the attic.
Yep.
And the kids. But she also sees Rebecca and
Peter.
So they're
The knocking.
Yeah.
They
So
keep getting tucked away. That's what.
well, yeah, and then they're talking. There's this whole like talking about like tucked away and not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca gets gone.
She gets tucked away.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, she gets tucked away.
And
in her memories.
then he starts hearing knocking.
You find out that Peter was the one that.
Killed her.
Yeah, that killed Rebecca through her memories, and you also find out a little backstory about
short
Peter.
now?
Yeah, we're going very short. We also find out a little bit about Peter's backstory, about his terrible upbringing, and the reason why he actually
Killed her.
The reason why he actually stole from Henry was because of his mother being awful. He was terribly abused as a child, and she said that you need to give me some money or I'm going to go back to your dad or something. I don't know. It was terrible. It seemed like there was a lot of terrible abuse, and I don't know what kind of abuse, but it seemed kind of skeevy to me. And Peter was getting very frustrated because he was afraid of becoming one of the ghosts that have no face, and he was also afraid of being alone without Rebecca, and he talks Rebecca into letting him possess her, and
he
kills himself in
Rebecca's body in the
Rebecca's
lake.
body in the lake. And
She walks into the lake just like the faceless ghost.
and she did not want to die, and I feel so bad because Rebecca was killed by him, and now she's stuck with the person that killed her for eternity. But anyways,
So they do this whole, and then they make it back to the attic, and so
they have to talk the kids into it,
into possessing them,
letting them possess them forever.
Forever.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can go and be with your mommy and daddy, and we'll take over.
Which is weird because they're kind of together and they're brother and sister.
Yeah, so
and
they grow up in those bodies and they still want to have a romantic relationship. Miles and Flora are biologically brother and sister, so that's kind of
weird.
So it was a very sad episode again. And Peter showed Hannah.
So they do the possession thing, and then Hannah goes up, and then Peter's in Miles' body and shows her the well.
Her body, yeah.
There's this whole like monologue about like the coyote. Well, what's it called?
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
cartoon.
Oh, a Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. And how he would run off the cliff and he would keep going until he looked down.
Until he looked down. So he tells her to look down, and then she looks down and he says, meep, meep.
Beep, beep.
No, it's meep, meep. That's the noise that it makes, yeah.
Beep, beep.
No.
My life is a lie.
You don't watch Looney Tunes.
I don't care. I've heard it. I've heard it, though.
Anyways.
And then it shows. But then up back in with Flora, she says, did I do
okay?
And then Rebecca's on the other side, and then
Rebecca did not possess her.
And Rebecca's like, hurry up and get her untied and stuff.
And so Danny and Flora are trying to flee.
Yeah, Danny gets Flora, and they're running outside, and then Flora's like, I don't want to go without Miles. And
then what?
The Faceless.
Oh my
grabs
God!
Danny by the neck and starts dragging her, and then
the woman in white, the Faceless Ghost from the lake, the one that killed Peter, grabbed Danny, and that was the end of that episode. And we're dying. We might end up finishing this tonight because there are so many spoilers online, and I can't avoid them.
You want to watch the last two tonight?
So upset about it. Yeah.
Because it's school night.
Yeah, we might do that because I'm seriously Neo, like from the Matrix, dodging freaking spoilers left and right because people can't shut up. So tomorrow, check back in with us.
We say spoilers.
Yeah. So check in with us tomorrow, and we'll probably finish up Bly Manor for tomorrow. We will also be reviewing The Host by Bong Joon-ho, and vote.
I can't wait to
hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Or
Why
tomorrow.
do we always do that? You want next time?
Yes.
We will
see you next time.